Hello, this is Liz here with Stampin' on the Rock. Today I'm going to share a little bit different video with you because I'm not going to show you a full card. Today I'm just going to give you a technique. I get asked about these Stampin' blends, and then I also get asked about the different black ink pads that we have. You'll notice this is a well-used one. There's marks all over the top of it. It's not brand new, obviously. Sorry, it's even upside down. So this is a Memento. So I'm going to share with you a technique. So first off, let's do the ink. Let's go over the inks. In general, there's always exceptions. In general, you want to use a water-based ink when black ink when you're using alcohol markers, which is what these are. If you're going to be coloring in with water, like a water pen, aqua painter, anything with water, or you're using water-based markers, which are, hang on a second, like our regular standard Stampin' Write markers. If you're going to use anything that's water-based, then you want to use an alcohol-based ink. If you have an alcohol-based black ink pad and you're using an alcohol-based markers, they will bleed and blend together. So these are alcohol markers, so we're using a water-based ink, which is Memento Black. Okay, so hopefully that clears that up a little bit. Again, I know people always have questions about that. Shoot me a message. And again, there's always exceptions to those rules. And it's not like you can't use the other ink. It's just better for what you're doing. So I'm going to be using Memento ink, black ink pad, and a whole bunch of Stampin' Blend markers. And I'll be using the stamp set Zany Zoo. Just looking for something with a big space so I can just share this idea, share this technique with you. This is super cute though. I'm trying to bring the camera really close today so you can see what I'm doing with the markers, but I think you can get the whole stamp set there. Zany Zoo. Okay, so let me go ahead with the Memento Black. And I'm going to just stamp a bunch of these just to give you a couple different ideas. And this is just white, basic white cardstock. Okay. Stamp another one here just to play around. Okay, all right, put that out of the way, make sure that you guys are seeing what's going on. All right, so what I'm going to do first, let's go for the alligator, the actual body of him first, and I'm going to use the greens here. So what I have here, let me start with this is the light Granny Apple Green. All the Stampin' Blends come in light and dark, and you get them in a set, two together, light and dark. So there's a light Granny Apple Green and a dark Granny Apple Green. Okay. There are two tips on them. There's a bullet tip, and then there's a brush tip. You can tell by the stripe here. That's a big wide, big wide stripe there. So that's your brush tip. This one has a thin stripe right there, and that is your bullet tip, okay? The one thing with these, when you take the caps off and you use them, be careful that you just don't do this. Make sure you hear the snap or it's not closed. Listen. Okay, you have to hear that snap, otherwise your markers will dry out very quickly. So make sure when they're on that you hear a snap, okay? So generally speaking, the brush tip is if you're doing a big wide area, and your bullet tip is if you're doing tiny little spaces, and I use the bullet tip when I'm doing my blending. Okay, so this brush tip though, you get a big wide area. You want to be very careful when you're using your brush tip. You don't want to color like you would with like a name brand other marker. I'm not going to say it. But you don't want to be going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, or you will ruin your tip very quickly. You want to brush, pick up, brush, pick up, brush, pick up, brush, so that you're going one direction. As I'm doing this, it might look like I'm going back and forth, but I am picking up in between. But back and forth, back and forth, back and forth is going to ruin that tip of that marker very quickly. Okay? So this is the dark eye, which I do not want. I'm going to take the light. You want to I want to tell you, you want to make sure that when you're doing this, you have something underneath, or like this one, I actually have two pieces here because they are alcohol-based markers. They will bleed through your paper. Okay, so I'm going to just do wide area with this light color. This is a light granny apple green. Just a big area, and again, I'm just brushing once and picking up in between. Okay. And then I'm going to come back with the bullet tip to get the smaller areas. Okay, it's going to be kind of a little messy looking at the moment, but just hang in there. I know sometimes people are afraid to use these, and they're nice. One time I had someone come on and tell me I was using a product incorrectly, and I'm always up for suggestions of ways to use them, but I will say your products that you have, you bought, and they're your tools. I'm going to give you suggestions of ways to use them, ways to make them last longer, but they are tools that you have, you've spent money on. So I will give you suggestions. You can follow those, or you can go ahead and find your own way to use them. And if you find some way to use it that like works for you and you love it, go for it. I mean, that's fantastic. They're your tools. So there are definitely suggested ways to use them, but feel free to explore and find other ways. This is the dark one. So I'm just going to go along the edge, and I'm just adding dark color right around the edge, and this is with the bullet tip. Okay, I'm going to go around his little chin line here, his head line, however you want to call that, right there, and maybe just around his belly line. Okay, so you think of looking at it right now, okay, that doesn't look so great. It's just, it's not really blended. We're going to go back now. The trick with these alcohol markers, lots of layers, 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 layers. So I'm going to go back now with the bullet tip of the light one, and I'm going over this dark, and I'm pulling in. I'm going to start pulling in, and I'm kind of making a circular motion. I think that many times, not always, when someone says it doesn't blend or I don't really like these, usually it's because they gave up too soon. Okay, you need lots of layers, 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 layer. Okay, I did a little bit along the top here. So I'm going back over it. I'm pulling from the dark and pulling in and circling. And I did a little bit of the dark along his belly, so we want to do the same thing here. And I'm circling till it's blended. Okay. All right, so there you see that it's lighter. So you see how it's lighter there and darker. If you want a little bit more difference to that, we can go back again and do a layer again. And you can add a little bit more of the dark. Pull in the light, back and forth. And I'm going to circle again. And the lines start disappearing. It's blending in. And you don't have a stark line there. It's all blended. Okay, and I can end it just like this. All right, and then we're going to pull in some other colors, and let's just do, oh, I'm just kind of picking colors. Let's do, this is the Light Poppy Parade. And I'm just dabbing in on these. I have no idea. If you know dinosaurs and you say that's not the color that dinosaur is, probably. I just like to have fun with colors. And that's the beauty of creating your little stamped images. You can make them whatever color you want them to be. So I'm going to use a little Calypso coral, and I'm using the bullet tip. And I'm really just dabbing color there. I'm not getting exactly in the flower. This is the shaded spruce. There's a little bit of some leaves in here. We'll just add a little green. And let's stick a little blue in there. Just adding a little blue. All right, and we'll give it, let's see. I thought I had a tan color here. I don't. All right, let's do this for the wheels for now. I'll give it some, this is the smoky slate, dark smoky slate. So these are the wheels. You can go back to your childhood and think of what color bike you had and go ahead and color your bike any color you want. I'm going to give it a little black seat, although I remember having a yellow banana seat. Do you remember those? And let's see, let's give him, I don't know, him or her maybe, I don't know. Let's do, what is this color? This is dark Calypso Coral. We're going to give him a Calypso Coral bicycle. Add a little color in there. Again, use your bullet tip if you're doing anything that's fine lines. All right, let me find, I know I have a little crumb cake color for the basket. Let me see. There we go. We have light crumb cake here I'll use for the basket. Okay, and there you go. Look at him. All right. Let me give you a different idea. So that one there, I used the dark granny apple green and the light granny apple green. Let me show you how you can mix the other colors. I'm going to grab in shaded spruce so we can do 3 different colors on this guy if we want to do that. So I'm going to give it a base of the light granny apple green. We're just going to give just a general quick base color here. And you may watch someone else do this and they're going to do it differently, and that's okay. Remember I told you, if you find a way that works for you, go for it. Do it a little bit differently. Some people, I get asked, like, do you do the light color first, then the dark color, or the dark color first, the light color? You will have some that will do it light color first and then dark, and others that will start with their dark color and go lighter. So it is really, it's okay, and that's up to you how you want to do that. But I'm just giving you a suggestion if you don't know where to start, if you're a little intimidated by this, just give you an idea. Again, this is still the light granny apple green. I just took the bullet end and filling in a few more spaces, the bullet tip. I do have the light, don't I? Yes, I do. Okay. But hopefully this will just get you to give them a try. Again, they're called Stampin' Blends. And you get 2 in a pack. It's a light and a dark will come in the same pack. Where do you start with them? I get asked that also, like which colors should I get first? I give you a suggestion of I would like choose one pack that's like in the reds color. Pick one pack that's in the greens color. Pick one pack that's in the blues color. So at least you can get started and you have a variety rather than getting like 3 different types of reds, and then you don't, like if you're trying to do flowers or something, then you don't have anything for the green. Or so start with getting a pack from each different kind of color family, some kind of a blue, some kind of a red, some kind of a green, something so that you can play around with them. All right, so far all I did was the light granny apple green. Now I'm going to go in with the dark granny apple green. And remember how I said layers. You're going to do lots and lots of layers. Just drawing a line along here and along his chin line. Okay. Now I'm going to go back in with the light granny apple green with the bullet tip, going over the whole thing, and I'm just going to start circling. Keep going. If you think, oh, this didn't blend, keep going. It's lots and lots of layers, but it's so rewarding to see the shading effect. I'm not an expert at this, I will tell you. I have seen some who have done it, and I'm positive they've done a lot of practicing, which I would like to do more of, and their shading is just stunning. So you have to start somewhere. So I just strongly encourage you, don't be afraid of it. Just give it a try. But I want to show you something else with this because okay. That was the dark. I'm going to come back in with the light again and just blend. Oh, did I just do that? No, I put it dark in. Okay, I don't want, that's okay. I added a little dark on his belly and I didn't want to do that, but that's okay. I'm just going to blend. Not a big deal. Just going to blend it. We're going to circle, 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 and it won't be this dark blop right in the middle. We're going to blend with the lighter color. Great. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the shaded spruce. This is a dark shaded spruce. I'm going to take the bullet tip and I'm just adding just a slight little bit along this top here. That's it. Okay. And now I'm going to take the dark granny apple. I know it seems like a lot of back and forth. It's just playing around with it. I know some of you enjoy coloring. And even if you don't, I've said this, I've told this to my regular customers, I did not enjoy coloring until these Stampin' Blends came along. And now these are just relaxing to me. And I like the look of them. So I'm taking that shaded spruce color, blending it with the dark granny apple green. Okay, and now I'm going to take the light granny apple green and I'm going to blend that line into the rest of the light granny apple green. But these markers honestly made me enjoy coloring. Okay, so now this alligator, it might be a crocodile, someone's going to correct me, has 3 different shades. And even in the light, if I go back with this light and I add another layer, it's going to just come out slightly darker. So it's lots of layers of ink. How long do these markers last? That's not an answer I can give you because, again, it depends on so many factors. How much are you using it? How much do you color with them? Are you good at, remember that snap, are you good at keeping them closed? Keep them horizontal. You have ink at both ends, so you want to store them horizontally, not up or down, not vertically, so you want to keep them this way. So check that out. Look at the difference between the two. Okay, this one used light and dark granny apple green. This one used light and dark granny apple green plus shaded spruce and got even a darker look there. Okay, one extra thing I want to show you. This is a color lifter. And I will say, I'm not sure that lifter is the right word for it, but to me it's a color mover. Because it doesn't really take the color out, but it will move it. So if you have this guy here and you want to give some highlighted area, you can take this. It says it's actually like clear really. But you can take this and let's see if you can see this here. Just say, maybe no, the sun's hitting right here. And I just want to, I'm going to take this and rub that just a little bit here. And it will move the color. It's not really lifting it, but can you see right in here where it took the color off right there? So it moved the color aside. So like where the sun might be hitting a flower or hitting him, you can use this color lifter and it just removes or gives a little like sunlight spot right in here. Okay, so that's it for today, but I hope that gave you a quick overview of Stampin' Blends. If you haven't tried them, give them a try. Select colors, like one from each color family to get yourself started. And you want to use Memento ink to color with those. If you have them and you think, oh, I just can't, I'm not getting them to shade, I think you're probably doing fine. You just need to keep moving. Just keep coloring. Add another layer, and it will blend. See here, you don't have an exact line. It did blend. It blended in. So, and then look at the other side. It will bleed through the other side. So just keep going with it. Try it again. And if this is new to you, give it a try. I'd love to see what you do with it. So that's it for today. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.